How are you doing, my beautiful Leo? My name is SimplyVelca, and let's just get into your weekly tarot reading for June. We're already at the halfway point, Leo, when it comes to 2023. Can you believe it, darling? So let's just get right into this tarot reading and see what's happening, right? Enough of the small talk and the introductions. Not necessary. Three of Pentacles coming in for you, all right? So June seems to be a month of collaborations, Leo, all right? And I know for my friends that are a little bit more antisocial or don't like people, honey, because that's the first thing I heard when I held this Three of Pentacles. Is like, Velka, I don't like nobody. I don't want to hear that. I want to spend this summer just for me, myself, and I. Honey, get with the program. All right. For you, Leo, I understand it entirely. Trust and believe. You may think I'm an extrovert, honey. It's the very opposite. But I really see for you, Leo, this is going to be a summer of collaborations. I'm not going to say, especially with the Three of Pentacles, you would associate this with like networking, of like business connections and stuff like that. But I really want to expand beyond that for you, Leo, in this sense of just like there's certain folks that you're like long overdue. This is intuitive or more so channeled, I suppose, darling, if you want to consider it that here. And so take it with a grain of salt if you want to. But I get like this sense of where it's like there's certain folks that you're destined to be meeting this summer, or like very important folks that you're supposed to be connecting to or getting closer to, because I get this message as well where it's like maybe you've already facilitated some type of acquaintanceship with folks, or like maybe some friendships that you haven't really talked to in a hot biscuit here. But these players, but yeah, essentially like these players that are going to be entering your life here, Leo, play a very pivotal role for just like for your progression in life. All right. And so it's not going to be just like this black and white sense where it's just like, maybe you're a writer and like a publisher just comes knocking on your door, honey, and they're just like, oh, hey, Leo, here's a book deal, right? That's just not realistic, honey. I'm sorry to be breaking that bubble for you if you believe in that. It's more so like perhaps it's like the person that you get in connection with, and then you choose to go out with that person because you get to know them more, and it's through you going out with them. Then you run into it's in that narrative there. I feel like it's more of like not a sense of like a black and white thing of where it's like you start talking to someone and you realize you have nothing in common, so you're just like, oh, Velka, must be not who's that Three of Pentacles is. No, it's like it's very connected, right? I wouldn't be doing this here today if it wasn't for folks that I met on the internet when I was gaming, and I moved to California in with them, so it's like, and I don't talk to them anymore. So it's one of those things where I hope this understands where it's like certain folks are going to be part of the puzzle piece, very important puzzle pieces for the whole picture. Does that make sense? All right, Leo? So even if you're not feeling social, darling, get over it. All right. This is really a time for you, Leo, of really just like going after what it is that you're wanting, really going up in the ranks here for you. All right. Now we have this devil card coming in here. What is this about, Leo? This better not be internal here, but at the same time, if it's external, if it's a person that's the devil, I don't like that either. What's this devil about? Temperance card in the reverse. Okay, so this seems to be more so internal, and I actually don't mind it in this dynamic here, because if like I was really worried, Leo, that y'all were like really struggling with like some imposter syndrome or something like that, Leo, and you might, just don't tell me, honey, because I'll chastise you. I'm playing, obviously. But in this dynamic here, I get like this sense of impatience, and also this message here for you, Leo, where I'm gonna call you out in that I feel like there's stuff that is very long overdue for you, Leo. And what I mean by this is that, let's say, for example, you've always made the promise to yourself being like, oh, the start of next month, the start of next year, the start of next week, the end of the weekend. You've always made these promises to yourself. I almost just said empty. But I mean, I guess in some sense it's empty. But it's like you make these promises to yourself and then you never actually fully commit in doing it. And this is like a message where it's just like time is running out for you, Leo. And so it's the sense of where it's like if you have certain insecurities going on, if you don't like how you look in the mirror, if you don't like, whatever it is, you're running out of time to address those issues before you start the next chapter. All right. And so it's that sense of where it's like, sure, you want to be a model, honey. It's absolutely possible for you to be a model, darling, or whatever it is. But if you want to be a model, but then you look in the mirror and you're just like, I wish I was like a little bit, I had like 10 more pounds in my bones so I could look more curvy. Darling, if that's your prerogative, that's fine. I'm not here to tell you that's how you like yourself, right? Because I really want to make this clear for you, Leo, and that the limitations that you have for yourself, where it's like you tell yourself you need to gain a little bit more weight to be attractive or what have you, it's all internal. All right. And then while I completely get it, Leo, I completely understand the thought process and just like how you look and, really directly correlates with like your success because of how comfortable you feel in your own skin. It's very possible for you to still be skin and bones or to be chunky and funky, honey, and still be that model. All right. It's more so for you taking these actions so you can finally feel good enough about yourself to have the courage to pursue modeling or to pursue writing or just whatever it is. All right. You're running out of time for it. And so it's this sense where it's like, all right, do you want to start this next chapter addressing those insecurities? Or do you want to start this next chapter learning how to continue down your path alongside those insecurities and making it more of your own? Does that make sense? And so I really don't want you to see this as a sense of where it's like, oh, I gotta lose this weight so I can be successful. Darling, make your choice. You can lose the weight, or you can keep the weight and just be be comfortable enough with it so you still choose to do what it is that you want. Do you understand that, Leo? I hope I get my point clear in that regard. All right, continuing on though. All right, you have the Sun card, best card in the tarot deck. I also noticed I just did Aries reading as well, Leo, and so you came in very strongly for Aries as well. So either check out Aries, or maybe you are going to be dealing with an Aries. But whatever the case here, the Sun card is the most positive card in the tarot deck. All right, so this is still promising a very positive outcome, even if you were to, take like my bias or like my perspective to the side, and you're just like, oh, Velka, you're just saying that you could still be successful even if you didn't address those insecurities because you don't want to be a bitch. I have no problems doing that. Let's be clear about that. But it's more so just saying, it's like I easily saw it possible for you just intuitively, and these tarot cards, honey, just make it prove my point even more. The Sun card is a card of things being revealed to you. It represents abundance. It's also usually, of course, in this tarot deck that I'm using here. In fact, I'll just get a different tarot deck just to showcase it to you as well while I'm talking. But the Sun is usually represented by children as well, and so it's that sense of like perhaps like some inner child healing, or just like stuff that you've wanted to do since you were a child, right? But you've always had like the insecurities or the self-limiting thoughts, whatever the case is, right? And so I really feel like your summer, Leo, is finally like living out your childhood dreams. As corny as that can sound, it's not going to be the sense of where maybe your dream is to be famous and successful and have millions of followers online. Nothing wrong with that, by the way, but you're like, I more so see this from a more realistic approach, Leo, in the sense of where this year is going to be a very the building blocks for that. So you may not have 1 million followers this year, all right, but you probably will have a good following, honey. And as long as you continue with that momentum, I was about to say memento, then things will be looking fabulous. All right. So just take a look here. I'm very visual, Leo, so that's why I always like to just showcase it. So you see the children there and all that. Like, I just really liked showcasing. So it doesn't really matter. You could have just taken my word for it. I guess you could have just Googled it, honey. But let's continue on. All right. Very positive year for you. I see you guys getting a lot of attention as well. All right. When I see that Sun card, again, it's like bringing attention to you. And that would make sense as to why tarot was bringing up this sense of where it's like, hey, time is running out, honey. Or, the clock is ticking. If you don't like what you see in the mirror, address it, because you're going to be having company coming over, honey. Right. And so I really do see this underlying message here where it's just like, hey, if you're wanting love life, if you're wanting friends, honey, they're about to be coming in. You're about to be getting a lot of that type of attention. And so prepare yourself for that, right? You have the Empress coming in. Now, why do we have this Empress? Positive card. But I'm curious as to like what role this is playing. 2 of Pentacles. And let's do one more. The Star. So I do see your plate being pretty full. Here, Leo, I do see your plate being pretty full, and I don't really see that going anywhere. All right. And so let me use myself as like the analogy here. Actually, no, we don't need to use myself. Essentially here is, it's like maybe you want to do writing, or maybe you want to do social media. I don't really see the storyline of where for your success story where it's like you just go all in on social media and that's the only thing that you're having to worry about or having to manage, because I do see you having your plate full with a bunch of things that you're having to do. And so if your message to yourself is like, oh, I just need to wait until things calm down before I start writing that book or before I start doing that social media, darling, things are not going to calm down for you this summer. I'm so sorry to tell you. Apparently I just love bursting y'all's bubble, Leo, but I really don't see things slowing down for you. I see you more so just getting better at juggling things. But I'll tell you this, Leo, it feels a lot better to juggle a lot of things in your life when you are having it be a lot of positivity. All right. To see this star card being associated with this sun as well, these are two very powerful cards. The star card represents a wish being granted. It's those things where it's like the big desires that you want in life, but that always feel just out of reach or unrealistic for you, or more so you don't know how to go from point A to point B to get there. Right. And so this summer really has a lot of potential for you to really do a lot. All right. But it's not going to be this sense where it's like the stars just perfectly align and like no one's going to bother you. And, you know, there's nothing that you have to manage. Just like, no, you just get better at juggling everything. And it's a lot easier to juggle a lot of things when you have a lot of good things happening. Right. So it's like, for me, I don't mind doing what it is that I do and being really busy because, you know, I'm successful. You know, it's not me bragging or anything, but it's a lot easier for me to be like, oh, yeah, I don't mind recording and, you know, doing what it is that I do all day because I get views. You know, it'd be very different if I was doing all this stuff and I was getting like no views anywhere, right? But the reality is very opposite. And so that's kind of how I see things for you, right? I'm not, you know, the reason for my success isn't because like the stars aligned and like I was able to just buckle down and just do one thing. No, it was more so like I had a bunch of things on my plate and I was just like, you know, it's just like a lot of moving parts. And then, you know, I struck a gold eventually here for you. And this is the thing, Leo, like you are able to handle this, all right? Now, when I see this Empress energy, I understand more of why it's here because it's like, this is what you were trained for up until this point. Like you went through certain traumas, you went through certain things in life, you know, just certain stresses that have built character for you. My Empress is the card of character building for me. And so it's like you were made for this moment. You were made to learn how to juggle all this. Because here's the thing. It's like you were able to juggle so many bad things in your life. It's like you had like 10 different things going on. It's like you had all these bills to pay, you know, health problems, family drama, you know, you had all this that you could juggle, right? So keep that same energy for your productivity. Keep that same energy when it comes to your hustle, right? You know, I hope this doesn't sound dismissal of anything for you, Leo. It's more so the sense of where the universe or God is saying, it's like, you can handle this, Leo. This is child's play for you, all right? So this is the tarot reading that I have for you, darling. If you want to have further clarity in your life, you can look down below to book a tarot reading with me, and I'll talk to you later, Leo. Bye.